Hi, my name's Nicole and I'm the instructor for One Day Website. Now there's a reason that you don't have a website right now. Well, I'm guessing it's really one of two reasons. One is you are really not looking forward to dealing with the technical crap. What's a domain name versus web hosting? How much should you be paying? Where should you be buying it from? What software should you be installing? You start doing internet research and there's just so many opinions about it. And a lot of people who have opinions about it are trying to sell you something. And so that can be hard because you're not sure if you're making the right technical decisions, and sometimes you just want to talk to someone about options and just get a good idea of what they are and get an objective sort of third-party point of view. So there's the technical stuff that can hold people up. And then there's the dreading doing it part, which I think probably is more likely the reason, because you think, okay, I'm going to get the website together, I have to get some new photos, I have to get the text, and then even once you have that stuff, you got to psych yourself up to sit down at a computer. Maybe you're not super comfortable and do this thing that you've never done before that you know is going to be a giant pain in the butt by yourself. And your other alternative, I guess, for doing that is hiring a designer. And maybe you've looked into it and you think, I don't necessarily have that kind of money to spend. So there has to be something in between doing it completely on your own with YouTube videos and wanting to cry and hiring a designer to do a professional design for you. And so that's where I came up with One Day Website. So I've been doing this course for about 10 years. I've probably done it, 15, 20 times, I'm guessing. Sometimes I do it multiple times a year. Some years I don't do it at all. I've done it with certain private groups before that have contracted me out to do it. But basically what we do is before the class, I send you some information and help you kind of get things together. So I say things like, make sure that you have your logo and that it's a transparent PNG file. Make sure you have a list of your products or services ready to go because you're not going to want to sit in class and think about it. Make sure you have some photos to work with. Here's some good, photo software if you need to crop and resize things. So basically what you do is you get all that stuff ready to work with before the class. And while you're doing that, I help you, I buy the domain name and set up the hosting and basically give you a nice clean canvas to work with. The day of the class, you show up with your files and stuff. I show up with some enthusiasm and some coffee maybe and your website ready to go. And it's just this blank canvas ready for you. And we spend 3 hours customizing it together with a group of people. So the group thing is kind of highly motivating too, because you can be exchanging ideas with the person next to you. You can see kind of what they're working on, and the group energy is kind of nice too, because normally if you're at home by yourself, you'd want to quit about, half an hour into it. But because you've signed up for this thing and because you've committed to being there with these other people, you're going to give it the time. And so, like I said, what we do is, and we go through like, okay, this is how you make a page, and this is how you add some links to your navigational menu, and this is how you change your design elements. And the reason that, we kind of go through all that, just so that you know what your options are. Now, the biggest question we get is what software we use in this class. And we use a software called WordPress. There's 2 kinds of WordPress, just to let you know. If you go to wordpress.org, you can actually download the software for use on your own domain for free. It's called open source software. And we like it because WordPress runs like 28% of the world's websites, so it's the most popular open source CMS out there. And there's nothing that I've seen that we can't do with a WordPress site. So let's say you're starting with a basic website in this class, but let's say you're down the road, you say, you know what, I want to add a shopping cart, or I want to add online booking, or I want to add whatever you can think of, a real estate data feed that populates the site every 2 hours with new pricing information. Like I said, basically, I haven't seen anything WordPress can't do. So, you can use a plug and play service like a Squarespace or a Wix if you want to do it on your own. But what I find is by giving people a platform that they can build on, a good solid foundation, your website can grow as your business grows and as your online needs grow. So, and I like it because it's open source, so you don't have to keep talking to me about it. If you come to the class and you say, gosh, that Nicole, she's kind of terrible and I want to work with someone else, there is literally maybe millions, but definitely thousands of other people that work within WordPress, because it's this known language. It's like speaking English, you know, you can go a lot of different places with it. So I want to, you know, if you're thinking about One Day Website, what we've done to make things easy in terms of you understanding the costs is we partnered with a web host to offer a discount domain and a discount web hosting for a year. So your fee that you're paying includes the domain name for a year and web hosting for a year, as well as the 3-hour class. So it's kind of, I think, a pretty good value. And in terms of ongoing, next year when it comes up for renewal, your domain name and your web hosting, it's actually very affordable. You're looking at $12 a year for your domain name, I think, and you're looking at around $100 a year for your web hosting. So to keep your site online, once it's built, is under $150 a year, which is great. So anyway, that's just so that you know what those costs are. And I will go through in the class the difference between a domain name and web hosting, and how you know who your domain name registrar, that's where you purchased it, is, how you know who your hosting company is. We'll go through that as part of it so that you understand those costs versus, you know, the cost of your website, which is something that you're taking on yourself by doing it yourself. So I've got about 10 years of WordPress experience in terms of building sites and using sites that other people have built. And because I'm a developer, I also have cool developer credentials for some fun software that I will add to people's websites for them without them having to pay, because I've already paid for it. And so you can, you know, kind of take advantage of those opportunities as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me about One Day Website. And again, my name is Nicole, and I look forward to potentially spending 3 hours with you sometime soon, building your website and finally crossing it off your list. And, you know, knowing that you're not going to have to do it by yourself. You got me. We're going to have fun, I promise. All right. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon.